Let's bring in Adam Schiff, a Democrat from California, member of the House Intelligence and the House Appropriations Committee. Representative Schiff, as always, good to see you. Thank you. So we just heard Senator Tom Coburn saying the president has a great chance for a big deal. But doesn't any deal have to be cut with some rigid Republicans in the House? I mean, will breaking bread, this charm offensive, will that, all that with some moderates in the GOP change that?
Well, look, I think these interactions are very helpful. The president has a great deal of soft power, and that is getting together with members of Congress, going out to their districts. You see the relationship he formed with Chris Christie when he went out to New Jersey and shared some of the challenges that the governor was facing. It can have an impact, and in the Senate, where a handful of votes can get you over 60 or not get you over 60, it could be critical. But it is going to be tougher in the House. For one thing, the numbers are just much greater in the House. For another, we have, I think, a larger clique of hardcore Tea Party members who really don't want to get together with the president, or if they do, they want to get together with him to rebuff him, just so they can go back home and say, basically, I put off the president. So it is going to be a challenge, but I think it's worth doing. When George W. Bush was president, I was invited to the White House several times, and it does have an impact. It's harder to vilify someone when you sat down and broken bread with them and have a personal relationship. So I applaud what the president is doing, but there's going to have to be a willingness to engage with the president and a receptivity to these overtures on the part of the House GOP, and that's yet to be determined. I
remember my mother once told me, keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer. So there is something to that as well. You get to know the people. However, listen to Senator Coburn, who said that the president talks seriously about reform Medicare at the dinner. So how much resistance might he get from Democrats if that's part of the grand bargain? Because there are Democrats who don't even want to touch Medicare, right?
Oh, absolutely. And, there may be very well distance between the president and a lot of the Democrats in the House when it comes to what he might propose on Social Security or Medicare. On Social Security, for example, he has proposed chaining the cost of living increases, that is, reducing how much they would go up each year, and that meets a lot of resistance in the House of Representatives. I think many House members would be much more open to raising the level of the payroll income that is taxed in order to support Social Security. On Medicare, he's talked about reducing costs, and I think there's probably a lot of agreement among Democrats that the way to approach Medicare is to reduce costs, not necessarily reducing benefits, as the Republicans would like. But yes, it's going to be a tough sell within the Democratic caucus.
Do the new economic numbers out give the president some leverage against the Republicans? Because taxes went up on the wealthiest at the beginning of the year. Does that take away a GOP argument?
I'm not sure. That supposes that the GOP is subject to rational thought on this, and certainly some of the moderate members are, but a lot of the true believers in the Tea Party aren't going to be moved by no matter what happens to the economy. The really frustrating part of this is we've got such great economic numbers, and if the government would just get out of the way and end these manufactured crises, we could have just tremendous growth now. It looks very positive. And instead of 200,000 or 250,000 new jobs, we could have 350,000 new jobs or 400,000 and really be on a pace to get the economy humming and get those unemployment numbers down. If we can, put an end to this artificial damper on the economy that sequestration is, that's going to kill 100 to 150,000 new jobs every month. Just imagine the growth that we might have. But I don't expect all the GOP members to view that way, and so this charm offensive, I think, is going to be important, but it's going to be a real challenge in the House.
Okay. I want to switch gears quickly, talking about national security a bit, because there's this breaking news story about Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel went to cancel his first news conference with President Karzai in Afghanistan due to security concerns. The U.S. is pulling out in a year. This is a little bit unsettling, wouldn't you say?
Well, it is going to be a great challenge, and things are still very precarious in Afghanistan. The gains have been hard to hold on to, but we have given, I think, the Afghan government the time that it needed if it was serious about attacking some of the credibility problems it has, the corruption problems it has. We can't make the Afghan people stand up for the government more than the government is deserving of that support. And boy, we have tried. So I think it's appropriate that we've signaled to the Afghan regime they have so much time to get their act together. We will be there to support their troops, to support them with intelligence. But at the end of the day, we can't fight this battle for them. We've had a lot of disagreements with the Karzai regime, and I don't think this is going to be an easy task, but I think it is necessary that we wind down our troop presence there and leave the Afghan future ultimately to the Afghan people.
Let me ask you quickly about something stateside here, because you're on the Intelligence Committee, the TSA. Is it more confident there are no terror attacks on the horizon? Because, as you know, they're easing restrictions on passengers bringing knives onto planes, like the pocket knives we're seeing there, the Swiss Army knives.
I don't think it's so much the TSA is more confident that there aren't more terrorist attacks planned. You know, we certainly have done a good job degrading the central core of al-Qaeda, but these franchises that are planning these kind of one-off attacks, you know, are multiplying, and that's still a grave threat. But I think the TSA has reconsidered that the gravest problems that we face on airlines are not necessarily the way that the terrorists tried to attack on 9/11 with box cutters, that there are other more grievous threats that we need to be concerned about and focus our attention on. Explosives, I think, are a much greater problem than small pen knives. So they're taking some reasonable and rational steps now that we have hardened cockpit doors, that these small knives may not be worth searching for if it means less of an effort to find things that truly are a threat.
All right, Representative Adam Schiff, as always, a pleasure. Thanks so much.